Mediocrity is everywhere right now, and we're all trying to find an easy way out. We surround ourselves around people that make us feel great. They tell us what we want to hear. Let's say there's 10 people in this room, and we're all mediocre. But I'm the best of the mediocre people. I now think I'm great. The second we put ourselves amongst the uncommon people, we don't like that feeling. We don't want that in our lives. We don't want that person who's constantly challenging our weaknesses. That's the mediocrity of life. We want to be the best amongst the average people. You have to create someone else. Not like you have two different personalities. It is you. But you have to find strength. And I fell back a lot. I fell back in this hole of life. The second you think that you've overcome it and you climbed Everest, you're on that last hold, and life will say, not today, and it'll push you down. In the dark room, you face yourself, you realize you want to be better, you realize you don't want to be this weak, insecure person, almost like that Superman cape, like I'm coming out a different person, a person that doesn't give about anything, who doesn't care about being judged, who knows I'm weak, who knows I'm afraid, who says, whatever you think about me, take it, whatever, I'm here. My junior year in high school, I missed a whole bunch of school, was lying to my mom, had like a 1 point something GPA. I was just jacked up. I mean, I was in one of the worst spots in my life. And my mom was going through a lot of too, and she didn't have time to sit back and baby me. And it was me against me. I can't read and write to save my soul. I've lied about it to everybody. I've cheated on all these tests. I was in bad shape. So I went to the bathroom and I had this weird haircut because I wanted attention. And whatever I could do to get attention, I did. And it wasn't me. It wasn't who I was inside, but I was scared for anybody to know who I was inside. And so I would dress differently, crazy haircuts, and I went to the mirror and the reflection in it revealed a lot of bad things. A lot of things that I was hiding behind the saggy pants. I lied a lot growing up. I wanted to be accepted. So in that accountability mirror, I call it, I got real with myself. I said, you have a third grade reading level, which is hard to admit when you're a junior in high school that you copied on every single thing you did because of fear they're gonna put me in a special school. We all know what special means. So I started cheating. I was dumb. And people say, oh, you know, you had a learning disability. I had a learning disability, but I realized I was lazy. So I called myself out there. I was just honest. I was honest. Look at yourself, man. Look at yourself. And it was that day, and a couple of days after that, I just got real with myself. And every day I came home, I called it the accountability mirror. What am I going to do today to change what I see in this mirror? I had to really wear this layer of skin. I had to develop a really callous skin on me to take whatever you're going to call me, you're going to call me. You're going to see me. You're going to see me for who I am because I need to change who I'm not. And when I became fat over the years, because I fell back in the hole, I called myself fat because I was fat. And people don't want to do that. They want to say, oh, don't call yourself fat. Don't call yourself dumb. If you're not real and raw with who the you are, nothing's going to change. And it's raw. It gets ugly sometimes with me in that mirror, but I'm also proud of myself to be able to tell myself that and then fix what's in that mirror. So the first thing about it is once you realize it, and you have to realize it, you got to call yourself out. Addressing it is very small. It doesn't go from like one morning this way, next morning I wake up and presto, 5 steps to greatness. No, it ain't that, brother. You read my book, this is hard work. It's every day. How you address it is you face it. You face it every day. You face it every single day of your life. It's patience. It's patience in this fact of accepting who you are right now, accepting the fact that if you lose 3 or 4 pounds, that's a huge accomplishment. You have to live in your own world. You cannot judge yourself. That's why social media and all these things are horrible. You can't judge yourself off of the so-called competition that we have made up in our mind. I had tons of sticky notes all over my mirror. It wasn't like be better than John or be as fast as whoever. Okay, David, yesterday you did this. Today, our next goal for the week is this. So I had a year goal, weekly goals, daily goals, hourly goals. So I figured out these ways of total accountability. This is a race that you run completely alone. And you're all by yourself. A lot of folks talk so much about, hey, I'm gonna change your life. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Are you accountable for what you're doing? Are you accountable? And I mean to the T for what you're saying. I am. Let's not lie today. Let's tell people the truth about who you are. And when you can get on and tell someone, like I'm doing right now, exactly how up you are, that's the goal in life. To put your life on a billboard, on the busiest road, in the busiest highway in the world, and say, this is how up I used to be. When you really sit back at your life and you are in that dark room, and you're looking at where you started from, and then you put a goal in your mind. How are you gonna feel, man, when you accomplish this goal coming from that? You started with no legs. You had to grow legs to even start walking, and then crawling, and then running. It's how you look at your situation. And I was looking at it all up. There's a lot of power in that list. So in that list of who you are, what makes you up, all these other things, it goes back to, once again, accepting. You have to first accept it before you can fix it. You have to accept what you're not. You have to, and people don't want to do that. And that's the only way you can fix it. You have to accept it first before you can go on the journey. A lot of folks never even start the journey, man. They never start the journey because they live in this fake life because they haven't fixed all this stuff yet. You got to fix this first before we can start our journey in life. Now your journey can begin because you no longer care about how people are judging you. When you care more about how someone's judging you, you're going to stay right there. There's no forward momentum. Each thing that is wrong with you has to be a focal point. You can't look at this gigantic list and say, I got to change all the my God, this is crazy. No. You take off the first one, I want to be smarter. For me, that was my thing. I have to become more intelligent. I had to now get that one thing and then strategize in that one problem. How can I do this? I'm not going to learn like you. I'm not going to learn like anybody else. I have such a severe learning disability, man. I can't retain. How am I going to figure this out? So I then figured out, okay, where are my strengths here? And I figured out a way to do it by just strategizing. So how I learn to this day, if I have a big manual to study, I will have to get a bunch of spiral notebooks. I have to write each page out, maybe 10 times. So there was a 1,000-page dive manual that I got 18 months before I went to dive school. I realized, hang on a second, I'm not smart. How can I get past this? How can I get through this obstacle? I need to acquire this book 18 months in advance, because it could take me 18 months to write down each page over and over again to then put it to memory. And that's how I did it. So you got to strategize on each problem you have in life. Slowly break down that problem. Don't think about all the problems you have, just one at a time. And before you know it, you fix all these problems, but you cannot focus on all of them. Just on the one thing at a time.